Welcome everybody to uSTADIUM Fantasy Live. It is week 5. I'm your host, Chris, and with me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, my brethren, Stefan Bershbombs. How is it going, big guy?
It's going pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I
Little
don't
bit
know
of mic
which mic
issues.
is working. So this episode, if you choose to let go of some bodily functions, make sure you mute them all right?
It's a new mic. It keeps on. Oh, there we go. Yeah. All right. Now I'm good though. It's been a long week. I've been just waiting for football. I'm waiting for the Alvin Kamara day. Just a hint.
Yeah, big day expected for AK. Right now, we got the New York Giants versus the Green Bay Packers across the pond in the UK going on. Alan Lazard just got a tutty pass from Aaron Rodgers. It is 10-0 for the Green Bay Packers. I'm hoping that they keep using Saquon Barkley, just keep driving him down the field. He's been difficult for him to break away some runs watching the game here, but he is consistently getting the ball, which is what you like to see there in that offense. Because other than Saquon, I mean, there's not much. Kenny Golladay out, Kadarius Toney out, Wan'Dale Robinson out. So their whole receiving core is out. They're rolling Sterling Shepard's out. They're rolling Sills. I mean,
Darius Slayton's
there. I mean, it's Barkley and Saquon. Barkley only there for the New York Giants. With that, we'll hit you with our outs. Before we do, like the stream, subscribe to the uSTADIUM channel, download the uSTADIUM app. It is live on Android. Get in on the takes. I got a fantasy take this week, and it's wide receiver Chris Olave finishes the week in 0.5 PPR as the clear-cut wide receiver 1 on week 5.
Really?
So big one. No Mike Thomas. He's getting peppered by Andy Dalton. They're facing the 31st ranked secondary. Chris Olave is my wide receiver start of the week. I will get into more of him heading into our episode here. Again, if you got any questions regarding your fantasy teams this week, drop them and we'll answer them right away. Albert, Jamal Williams, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire, full PPR. I'm going to go with Jamal Williams there with DeAndre Swift out. We saw what he did last week. Rumble, old man Rumble.
How old is Jamal Williams really? Like what?
RB years, he's probably like 55. He's got to be up there, man. But you can start Jamal Williams with confidence. I mean, he's been that RB1 that you are looking for if you were the guy that lost DeAndre Swift. CEH is involved in the Kansas City offense. I mean, but he hasn't really seen over 50% snap share. He's getting some good goal line touches and stuff like that. He's involved in the Kansas City game plan, but Jamal Williams, for me, much higher ceiling and a much safer floor. Can hear you when you do that. Okay, just a heads up.
I'm trying to make sure because I don't know how this thing works. But my point to you is, you know, the only player in the NFL to have multiple 2-touchdown games?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Jamal Williams.
I thought you were trapping me there.
But it sounds like a trap because you're right. But then again, who was in the games when he had those multiple touchdowns? It was still DeAndre Swift.
There you go.
So, I mean, with or without him, it seems like the Lions want
They're using him.
Yeah, use him, and they're not afraid to use him. Like Jamal Williams, oh, you have a fantasy team that has Swift? Well, here, Williams, take 2 carries up the middle of the goal line and score 2 touchdowns.
We just got a New York Giants Graham Gano field goal, so it is now 10-3 for the Green Bay Packers. Let's get to the outs of the week. Kyle Pitts is out, tight end for the Atlanta Falcons. Cordero Patterson's out. Excuse the background noise. It's Canadian Thanksgiving here at my house.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It's getting a little busier. Rashad Bateman's out. Jamison Crowder put on the IR with an ankle injury. I think he broke his ankle. He's out.
Ooh.
Fire up your Isaiah McKenzie's. Dawson Knox also out. If you're looking for a streamer tight end and the player pool in your leagues are a bit thin, Quentin Morris might be a guy that you want to plug into your lineups. You can probably get him for free. He's now the starting tight end this week at least. For the Buffalo Bills, Laviska Shenault is out after that big week versus the Saints. DJ Shark is out. DeAndre Swift is out. Brevin Jordan's out. Keenan Allen out. Tua Tagovailoa is out. That's a given there. Mac Jones is out, so we're looking at another Bailey Zappi start for the New England Patriots. Jameis Winston out. Mike Thomas is out. We already mentioned that the three wideouts for the New York Giants are out: Wandale, Kadarius, and Kenny. Cameron Brate, tight end for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is out. Cade Otton might be another name, that the rookie that you might want to stream this week if your player pool is bare as well. And Treylon Burks hit the IR this week, a heartbreaker. Was with the turf toe injury. He's at least missing 4 weeks. So Robert Woods is going to be a plug and play start there for you. Nick Westbrook Ikine is another guy that you might want to watch out for, but this only means that Derrick Henry, running back that they're involving in the passing game as well, is going to be a smash start for the Tennessee Titans. Limited during the week, but expected to play: David Montgomery. Julio Jones is a true game time decision. I'm not too sure if he's worth, even if he plays starting. Russell Gage, another guy that another game time decision. I don't know if he's going to be worth starting. CeeDee Lamb is expected to play. He did miss some practice, and he was limited on Friday with a groin injury. Logan Thomas expected to play. Alvin Kamara with the rib injury expected to play. Jacoby Myers expected to play. The 2 star wideouts for the Miami Dolphins, and Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, are both expected to play. Juju Smith-Schuster is expected to play. Zay Jones, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, and T. Higgins, all expected to play this week. So some of these guys you're going to want to be a little hesitant on, like Julio Jones, Russell Gage. I mean, maybe even CeeDee Lamb with that groin injury might be a guy that if you got a great option to put ahead of CeeDee Lamb that you might want to put in there. But he is getting elite volume. He's getting elite target share. So he's a wide receiver 1 on the week. Those are the key guys that are either missing or expected to have not so high of an output this week for fantasy managers. Bob Sushi 32. Hello, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Bob. You are awesome as well. Do I start Amari Cooper, Alvin Kamara, or Jamal Williams? Leaning to Cooper as the safe pick. Full PPR. Steph, bless the man with your insight.
Alvin Kamara. Volume speaks everything. You got receptions, you got rushes, you got the only guy on the team that's going to do anything, because you've got Olave, you've got Landry. But Alvin Kamara has been the week that I've had trying to defend the guy and going into posts. I think he is the guy this week. It's finally back. I know he's had the injury, 24 carries, 100 yards. It's still, if you put that into one game script, 24 carries for 100 yards is still a very good day. So his season hasn't been producing, but I think he comes back this week, produces. I mean, Jamal Williams is a hard guy to start, but if I had to rank them, it'd be Kamara, Jamal Williams, and then Amari Cooper, full PPR. Volume at running back is king.
Yep. There you go, Bob. Thank you for tuning in. Randy Wells, Garrett Wilson, or Gabe Davis, full PPR. Gabe Davis taken off the injury report this week. Are we expecting him to bounce back? He had that solid week 1 performance, but has been non-existent since then. We know that Garrett Wilson is the target leader right now, the wide receiver 1 for the New York Jets. So here's a good question. Gabe Davis, it is full PPR. Gabe Davis or Garrett Wilson?
See, I got to fault this Gabe Davis hype train bandwagoners. It's been hype all season. Week 1 was good. I think Garrett Wilson, honestly, it's hard not to start him anymore. He's getting at least 8 targets a game. He's getting 5 to 6 catches a game. And I think Gabe Davis has still nagged by that injury. Yes, he probably cleared it, but you don't want to tell another team, hey, I'm 100% healthy. You want them to think that you're still hobbled by it. And I think Davis, 1 more week, then you got to start thinking, like, is this guy the real deal, or is it just a Stephon Diggs? Because it seems like you can give the ball to Stephon Diggs 50 times a game, give him 500 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he'll be fine. And Gabe Davis is kind of starting to take a true back seat to him. So I don't know yet. The last few weeks have been suspect, and Garrett Wilson, I think, going forward will be more of a high volume kind of a target.
Yeah. The way I look at it as well is I don't see the game script favoring Davis versus the Steelers there. If the Buffalo Bills get up big and the Steelers struggle with the rookie quarterback and Kenny Pickett, I could definitely see a situation where Gabe Davis doesn't see the volume, where Garrett Wilson versus the Dolphins could see that volume in a potential high scoring game there for the Jets. So I would lean Garrett Wilson as well against Gabe Davis, especially in the full PPR. Good luck, Randy. Kaliki Ofo-Egbu. Hopefully I didn't butcher that, brother. Corey Davis or Deontay Johnson at the flex. Corey Davis has been a bright spot the past couple weeks for the New York Jets, but Deontay Johnson is the man in that wide receiver room for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Volume alone, like you said, I'm going to go with the volume of Deontay Johnson over the Corey Davis big play. I think both games, a lot of his output came off that was the one play, whereas Deontay Johnson is just getting hyper targeted there in that offense. No Jordan Poyer. We know how banged up the Bills' defensive back room is there. So again, I'm gonna lean the volume towards Deontay Johnson over Corey Davis.
No, yeah, 100%. Honestly, it's Corey Davis is boom or bust. Deontay Johnson is at least minimum 5 catches consecutively game wise. Corey Davis is kind of still a border waiver wire unless you're in a 14-man, even a 16-man league. I think 12-man or up, Corey Davis is still, boom or bust. It's either he gets you 20 points one week and then gets you 5-4 injury, 20 points. So I just would rather not deal with it. And Deontay Johnson's almost still a start every week, if I'm not mistaken. He's a guy you still plug in, flex receiver 2, and you just let him play.
Yep, 38 targets on the season for Deontay. To me, he's a must start every week. Mm-hmm. Devin Patel, Sanders, I'm going to guess Miles, because it's the only, I believe, startable Sanders left in the NFL, right? Manuel's gone and Raheem isn't there. Breece Hall or Ramondre Stevenson. 3 guys that are in good spots. Miles Sanders has been the guy in that Philadelphia's running back room for the Eagles. Breece Hall every week continues to get better. He is targeted a lot for the Jets against the Dolphins. And then you got Ramondre Stevenson, who a guy like Breece Hall every week sees an increased workload. You got a great situation here, Devin Patel. If you could start 2 of these guys, I'm not too sure what the rest of your situation is there on your team, but if you can start 2 of these guys, go for it because they should all have good weeks. But Steph, is there an outlier for you out of the 3?
Yeah, and I'm gonna hate saying this because it's biting me so hard in the you know what, but I gotta go Miles Sanders. I gotta go with the guy who's been producing. I don't know what happened. He's just reemerged. He's scoring touchdowns. He's getting yards. He's on the most run-heavy offense. Miles Sanders. And then Breece Hall, another guy that last week you said was going to have one of the best games. He had a phenomenal game, over 100 yards, touchdown. And I think going forward, they know what they have now at Breece Hall. And all these rookies that came out, Olave, you got Garrett Wilson, you got Breece Hall. Now they're going to start taking form. Now they're going to start taking shape. And I think Breece Hall going forward is a great RB2 flex, but Miles Sanders, and I'm going to choke saying these words because last year I dogged him so much for being what he was, but Miles Sanders is now a consensus RB1 of the season until otherwise. Numbers, touchdowns, rush yards, all that, he's getting it. Can't believe I'm saying it, but start Miles Sanders every week.
There you go. Good luck, Devin. Either one of those guys, really.
I love Breece Hall a lot.
Last week even Ramondre, another guy that's in a good spot there, right?
Yeah, I'm just waiting though for Ramondre's like Breece Hall game of last week or something, and then I'm like, okay, this is Ramondre. But
yeah, my only worry with Ramondre, at least this week, is the quarterback situation there with Bailey Zappi. The defense could then stack the box, take away the run game, force Bailey Zappi to make the throws, which he can and can't make.
I like the guy.
He's college stud there.
I picked him up in our league with like the last pick in our rookie draft. I'm like, Zappy was never gonna play me. Put him on my taxi squad. Holy crap! I got a fourth quarterback.
Yeah, there it is. But yeah, I agree with the Sanders take there. Brees still has Michael Carter. Boston Scott, I believe, is out for the Eagles, so it is the Miles Sanders show there in Philadelphia. Fame Tiger. Hey boys, it's me, Yo Tiger. Okay, so I have a flex open. Do I put in Brandon Cooks, Garrett Wilson Jr., or Rashad Penny? He went off last week. He did go off last week. And
that's Jeffrey Wilson.
Jeff Wilson Jr.?
Yeah, I think Jeffrey Wilson.
And then, okay. We'll go Jeff Wilson Jr. there. I like it. Andrews or Amari Cooper? I mean, flex, but Andrews in the flex, man.
I would put it. Listen, if you're putting Andrews in the flex, you must have Kelsey or someone at your tight end one.
Yeah, you got a good stud there, yeah.
But if we're gonna just say you don't have a good tight end, okay, so if you have a good tight end, flex Andrews. If you don't, put Andrews in your tight end and go ahead and give me. I'm gonna have to go. I think Amari Cooper in this one, just matchup wise. Yeah, I think Cooks is good, but Cooks in the Houston Texans kind of look here and there. Jeff Wilson
Cooper versus the Chargers.
I think Cooper versus the Chargers. I know it's a bad matchup between J.C. Jackson and them boys. I just feel like Cooper's going to find a way to get open a little bit today and just have one of his, Amari Cooper kind of days. 100 yards, a few good catches here and there, maybe a touchdown. But I don't know. I haven't seen Cooks really I don't know. Last 2 weeks have been weird for me with the Texans game. So I'd go Cooper, Andrews, or just Andrews in your flex by himself.
Yep, there you go. Good luck, Fame Tiger. Also, Lamar was trash this week. Can I trust him? You can trust Lamar Jackson. He wasn't the greatest. First 3 weeks, he's almost the consensus QB1. He did face the Buffalo Bills, so there is that. He is playing without Rashad Bateman, so that might also lead to Mark Andrews being a plug and play in your flex there, especially if there's any kind of premium for the tight end receptions. But you can trust Lamar Jackson this week.
Yeah, don't.
I mean, the first 3 weeks, we know what he can do. We'll call week 4 an outlier because of the matchup. But, yeah, you can definitely trust Lamar. Penny or ETN? We know that Kenneth Walker is suffering from an injury. He's been on the injury report all week. The matchup isn't the greatest versus the Saints there. ETN does have Houston. A lot of people are projecting the ETN breakout game versus the Texans this week. He does have James Robinson being a thorn in his side in terms of running back production for fantasy managers, but I'm going to lean Etienne here with the matchup. James Robinson hasn't been the most efficient running back. Each week his efficiency has gone down. So I'm going to lean Travis Etienne here, and I'm going to hope that Rashad Penny the matchup becomes one of those issues for him this week for the Seattle Seahawks against my New Orleans Saints. Running backs versus the Saints this year are averaging only 14 points per week. The Falcons did have that one big week 1, but since then the Buccaneers the running backs combined 6 points. The Panthers running backs combined 13 points. And the Vikings running backs combined 15 points, and the Madison got the touchdown there. So running backs haven't really been able to produce for teams against the Saints. So I'm going to lean towards ETN. He's got the matchup. He's catching the balls out of the backfield. Slowly but surely, ETN's going to be one of those guys that you're going to want to have on your fantasy teams at the end of the season. So Ryan, producer extraordinaire, Mr. Splash, lean ETN here.
There you go.
There it is. Good luck. Timothy Chan, should I flex Dameon Pierce, Amari Cooper, or J.K. Dobbins? All good guys here. We saw Pierce go off for that 75-yarder last week. What fantasy managers have been hoping for out of Dameon Pierce finally came to fruition in week 4. He had 100% of the carries, which is something that you love to see, especially with those rookie running backs. Amari Cooper, part of that first option in that passing attack against the Los Angeles Chargers for the Cleveland Browns. And J.K. Dobbins, welcome back to Fantasyland. J.K. Dobbins. Who are you taking out of the 3?
As much as I want to say Pierce, because I've been one of those guys that's like, hey, this is the guy. I think it's Dobbins. Welcome back to the field. Welcome back to the game. Thank you for playing with us again. Thank you for participating again. And Dobbins last week showed you this team does not need to give him 30 carries a game to be an RB1. All they got to do is, take Lamar, do the Andrews thing, and then out of nowhere, goal line it. Dobbins, it's just going to be that way all year long. J.K. Dobbins is a proven RB1, I think. I don't think he's an RB2. Pierce is still an RB2. It's because they also say they want to limit him late game. They don't want to abuse the rookie and run him to the ground. So he's going to have some kind of limitations, they said, earlier in the week. Amari Cooper, I know I just had to start him. Also, Fame Tiger was starting Kelsey. So go ahead and start Kelsey and Andrews in your flex for that earlier question. But Dobbins, I think it's the show. It's finally, this is what the Ravens wanted. They want that running back. Gus Edwards is still a few weeks away from returning. So Dobbins, I think, is in line for RB1 numbers, at least 15, 20 carries a game. And don't be surprised if he gets 1 or 2 touchdowns the next 4 or 5 games, because the way that Lamar Jackson plays, it's easy for running backs to do well in that system. So it'd be Dobbins, Pierce, and Cooper the whole rest of the season.
Yeah, there's no one really taking any of those snaps away from J.K. Dobbins either. So, good luck, Timothy. X-Merc XD, pick one for flex: Amari Cooper, Kareem Hunt, or Miles Sanders.
Sanders, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave Miles Sanders here. Volume, no real vultures outside of Jalen Hurts there. Amari Cooper is gonna see his targets, but he is the matchup I don't really like the most there. So I'm gonna take Miles Sanders versus the Cards.
Yeah,
it's been a stud. So far. Timothy Chan, also start ETN or Josh Jacobs full PPR. I mean, I'm going Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I mean, you saw last week when they win, it's Josh Jacobs. So just know that's the reason. And last week was no fluke. Last week was a Josh Jacobs style of game. So don't be surprised if they just had to run through him more, because it seems like that's how you win a game. And ETN, like you said, it's a breakout game. It's Houston. It's supposed to be that. But don't be surprised if they do bottle him up again, and it is, kind of those games where you're like, when is he going to break out? And Josh Jacobs, another guy, RB1, RB2 rest of the season as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you saw what he can do, like Steph said. He's been constantly part of the game planning. I love the floor of Josh Jacobs over what ETN got me. If you're starting ETN, you're hoping for that boom week. So, but you know what Josh Jacobs can do. He's getting a big amount of carries for that offense. Any of the other running backs on that team are just coming in relief at this point. So fire up Josh Jacobs. Good luck, Tim. Splash Rants, RB and Flex: Najee Harris, CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson. I was going to say Deontay Dobbins. Deontay Johnson, J.K. Dobbins, Damian Pierce. He needs 2. You got any insight for our boy?
Dobbins. I mean, I just preach why you should start Dobbins every week. You're the Ravens fan. That should be the given one. The second one, it's kind of a toss-up. It's like, do you want to go up the Pierce route? Give me CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Rush, I think that's a connection that's going to be good. I know he had a little bit of injury, but then again, who's not injured week 5 into the season? It's, nicks and bruises. I think Lamb has a connection with Cooper Rush better than he had a connection with Dak Prescott, it seems. So give me CeeDee Lamb and give me J.K. Dobbins.
Good luck, Splash.
CDJKs. So go ahead.
Otto Nasweeb. Choose 2. Christian Kirk. I'm guessing Christian Kirk. Yep. Hollywood Brown or Deebo Samuel. I'm gonna go. Deebo Samuel is a must start. I don't think there's much chance for me sitting Deebo Samuel. So you're firing up Deebo Samuel, and then it's between Christian Kirk or Hollywood Brown. I'm gonna go Christian Kirk, man. I'm gonna go Christian Kirk. Brown versus the Eagles is just not a good matchup there. So give me the target hog and Christian Kirk, and give me Deebo Samuel.
The target hog and running back. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Good luck, Otto. Raheem Mostert or Jeff Wilson Jr. We saw what Raheem Mostert can do when given the opportunity. My only issue with Raheem Mostert is Chase Edmonds there, playing some of like almost half the snaps that Mostert can play. So give me the volume and the larger snap share in Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yeah, I think it's kind of clear cut with that one. I know Mostert has the carries, but Jeff Wilson is just the clear cut back on a run heavy offense, just like Miles Sanders. So I would start him until Mitchell comes back.
Yep, agreed. Cooper or Deontay Johnson? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I want to say Deontay Johnson because of the volume, but again, I mean the matchup with the Bills isn't the greatest matchup, and neither is the Cleveland matchup with the Chargers there. So
Deontay, just because you're gonna get 6-7 catches on even.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean Deontay Johnson. I'm gonna lean Deontay Johnson there. Like it's barely like the scale is it's almost even for me either or of these guys, but it's Deontay Johnson. I'm just putting that little extra weight on his side of the scale there to tip it. So give me Deontay. Man, I'm putting my faith there in Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett versus the Buffalo Bills. It just don't sit right with me.
Hey, but if the guy comes out and slings 2 touchdowns and even if he doesn't get blown out by 14, that's a statement.
Yeah,
and Deontay Johnson's gonna have to be the guy to help this poor quarterback in a terrible situation.
Yeah, agreed there. Yeah, give me Deontay, but barely. Damien Harris or Joe Mixon? I'm gonna lean Joe Mixon.
See, a year ago, this would be a different conversation. Now, I'm still slightly going Joe Mixon. Last year would have been Harris. It's just, I don't know. I don't see Harris being the dominant guy he was last year. 15 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson's more involved. But I think Joe Mixon's going to have brighter days. I know that he hasn't performed, hasn't been up to his expectations the way you drafted him, but it's still Joe Mixon, and it's still a high-octane offense. And when you're a top 3 piece in a high-octane offense, you're going to get the ball regardless. So a few weeks here and there, you're going to have your bad weeks like Lamar Jackson does. But those are guys you just still start because you still paid high value for, and they will pay off for you. So I think Joe Mixon over Harris, maybe by like that much, like a foot long worth, but I think Mixon gets it done this week.
Yeah, and Harris has that pesky running back behind him, man. And Ramondre Stevenson just continually taking those snaps away from him. So yeah, I got no issue there starting Joe Mixon over Damien Harris. We are brought to you guys by the uSTADIUM app, the uSTADIUM family. Make sure you're downloading the app. It is live on Android now. The website has been updated. You can get in on the takes on the website as well. Everything is live. Get active. You can get at us if you follow the uSTADIUM fantasy teams page. You can get on there, ask your questions. You got access to us directly on that. Make sure you're following all the uSTADIUM socials. There's uSTADIUM soccer, the main uSTADIUM account. There's hockey, the baseball, basketball is right around the corner. And of course, the uSTADIUM fantasy account on there. You can get in at us on our DMs. Make sure you are downloading that app. We are provided to you guys to help you chase your trophies and size your rings because of the people at uSTADIUM. So if you like the stream, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, unsubscribe, and subscribe again. It all helps us help you guys at the end of the day. Let's get into our Week 5 starts and sits of the week. Roll the music.
Cue the music, please.
Cue the music. All right. Our we every week there it is. Every week we bring you guys 5 from me and 5 from Steph. Our top 5 starts and sits of the week from every position. We rotate on a weekly basis. Our hit rate so far has been pretty good on the year.
Hit rate has been pretty good.
We called the TJ Hawkinson tight end 1 week last week, so hopefully you guys are tuning in. This week, we brought you 10 new starts and sits. We're even giving you DSTs that you should be starting and sitting on the week. So our QB sit of the week, Stefan, give it to us.
I need the list.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. It's the almighty Zach Wilson. I mean, let's be real. He's coming off an injury. He still was limited in practice. He's supposed to be doing good this week, and he's supposed to be out there healthy. I'm just not buying it. I don't think Zach Wilson is ready to come out and prove that he can throw 2 to 3 touchdowns a game. He's still a premature quarterback. He's not a guy that will go out there and win you games because he's a leader. And going against Miami and Teddy Bridgewater and those guys, it's a good defense. You're looking at the 32nd, I think, pass defense in the league, but you still got Xavier Howard, you still got Byron Jones, and you still need to sit Zach Wilson. He's not going to get you a top 12 performance. He hasn't gotten, even last year, he wasn't really a top 12 guy. In 1 week against Pittsburgh, 252 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and finished below 20 fantasy points. Zach Wilson is a nice, he's your mom's best friend, but he's not your fantasy team's best friend. So leave him on your bench and don't worry about him for the next few games because he ain't going nowhere.
There it is. You're sitting Zach Wilson versus your mom's best friend. Classic line. All right. My QB start of the week is Derek Carr versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be the game that breaks the Monday night under streak. The last 3 games versus the Chiefs, Carr is averaging 266 yards and 2 touchdowns per game. QBs on the year are averaging 26 fantasy points per game versus the Chiefs. That's good for 28th ranked versus the position. Brady put up 31. Justin Herbert put up 29. Kyler Murray dropped 26. And even Matt Ryan had a decent outing, finishing the day with 18 fantasy points. He's top 10 in pass attempts, top 10 in deep ball attempts, top 10 in TDs, and he's first in red zone pass attempts. The Chiefs in the red zone are the second worst team, allowing a touchdown on 80% of the plays against. He's getting Renfro back from concussion. The Raiders have established a run game through Josh Jacobs, which only alleviates the offensive passing attack. The Raiders haven't exactly been the best team in the red zone, but the attempts are there. The opportunity is there for them this Monday night. My projection, 300 yards and 2.25 touchdowns. I'd like to give that little decimal point there just in case he does hit that 3 and I can say I was close. So QB start Derek Carr, QB sit Zach Wilson. Our RB start of the week, Stefan. Who's your RB start of the week?
My RB start is your best friend. Is the guy you look at and you're like, oh my God, where has this guy been at? He's only had 24 carries all season long.
I miss you.
He's not the guy we thought he was. He's not. But listen.
That's my running back.
That's my running back now. And my running back has been nothing but slaughtered all over Twitter. Oh, he's only got 24 carries for 100 yards, 24 rushing attempts. He's got 4.2 rushing yards per attempt still. 4.2 and not playing in the last 2 games. Kind of a big deal. And what makes me okay with taking him is last week he was cleared to play. He was gonna play. If it wasn't in London, I feel like he would have played the game and it would have been a whole different, a narrative. But I think a week removed from the rib injury, and again, it's a rib injury. It's not like you're looking at an ACL or a knee, and it's still Alvin Kamara. The guy averages 4 targets a game in the 2 games that he was out. Against Carolina week 3, 2 catches on 7 targets for 12 yards, but he still finished with 15 carries on 61 yards. So you give him a full game script, this guy's an RB1 all year long. If you haven't traded for him yet to the point where you're like, okay, he's been out for 4 weeks, he's worth nothing, and now you're going to watch him. Starting this week, you're going to see the old Alvin Camaro, the one that we saw against the Packers, the one that we saw against the Vikings on Christmas, a 6-touchdown kind of a guy. Not saying he's going to get 6 touchdowns, but don't forget, 15 carry back. So today, 15 carries, 5 catches for 62 yards, and give me the 1.4 in the touchdowns. I'm not too confident because if it was 1.5, I'd be leaning to 2.
I like that.
But listen, when they say he's going, all week long I've been telling people, they're like, oh, do I trade for Kamara? Yes. What do I trade? You trade nothing. I traded Herbert for him, and I feel like I murdered the guy, and he still doesn't believe it. But you know what? Come this week, if you didn't trade for him, or if you traded for him, if you didn't trade for him, you kept him, whatever it is, this is the week that you plug him in and he repays you for your patience, or he repays you for your confidence, and like, I want that guy. You don't want him, I'll take him. So give me Kamara as, honestly, I'll give him a top 5 RB finish this week. I mean, it's not Damien Pierce, it's not some scrub, it's Alvin Kamara for God's sake.
Yeah. Yep.
I shouldn't have to explain why I'm starting him, but because of the backlash and the disrespect he's been getting this season,
sure.
This is the week.
Yep. A lot of questions surrounded Alvin Kamara, since week 1 to now, right? Is he even going to play this year? I don't even know if he was in England with his pending charges here in the United States. So I don't even know if he was there to play.
Are you allowed to leave the States if you're?
I don't know. I mean, he maybe got some kind of special pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, fire him up. I'm firing him up where you got him. My RB sit of the week is none other than Cam Akers of the Los Angeles. Oh, touchdown Giants.
Oh, touchdown.
Daniel Bellinger, 17-10. Versus the Dallas Cowboys, it's been a tough goal for Cam Akers this season, coming off the hope that he would return to some kind of form before his Achilles injuries. When given the opportunity to showcase what he can do in weeks 2 and 3 of this year, Akers didn't shine. 27 carries, 123 yards, 7 red zone touches. But with those touches, he only secured 1 touchdown.
Oof.
After week 3, his snap share decreased back down to the 30s. He is not being involved in the passing game either, only seeing 2 receptions for 18 yards on the year. This isn't a great get-right game versus the Dallas Cowboys, a team riding the high of a 3-game win streak on the back of their defense and Cooper Rush. The Dallas Cowboys are ranked 11th in the league against RBs this season. The opposing RBs are only averaging 14.5 fantasy points against as a unit. So that's as a whole, not just one guy, with a limited snap count as it is and no real value in the pass catching game. You sit Cam Akers probably from here on out until he shows you some kind of promise. My projection, 65 yards, which I think is a little bit generous for the kid, and 0 TDs. So RB start of the week, Alvin Kamara. RB sit of the week is Cam Akers. We got a question here. Vade134. Yo, pick 2, either 2 wide receivers or 1 running back and 1 wide receiver. Chase Edmonds, Tyler Lockett, who's been having a quietly productive season. Chase Edmonds again, so double Chase Edmonds, or Ramondre Stevenson. I'm going to go Ramondre Stevenson and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, I think you don't overthink this one. Edmonds has been rough, so just go
rough.
Ramondre and go Lockett because you don't want the headache. And if you do, I've got Advil, so hey.
Yeah, I mean, Ramondre Stevenson holds the same kind of upside, if not more, than Chase Edmonds. So I'm starting Ramondre this week. And then Tyler Lockett, like I said, has been having that quietly productive season for fantasy managers so far throughout the year.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm okay starting Lockett and Ramondre there. Good luck. Okay, let's get to our wide receiver sit of the week. Steph, what you got for him?
It's I don't want to say this. We're not in London, but it's not going to be a good day for anyone. I think Drake London, especially, that was a terrible pun. I'm sorry, guys. But Drake London is that guy. You look at the team he's going against, it's the Tampa Bay Bucks, the one team that knows what they want, and they want to shut down the pass. Against Tampa Bay, you're not going to get a top 5 passer. You look at Drake London on the season, 18 catches, tied for 38. 231 yards for a rookie. These are great numbers. For league-wise, they're still subpar, under below average. He has 2 touchdowns. He's only averaging 12.8 yards per catch. Now, you look at a guy like Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Jamel Dean. All these guys are more than capable of essentially locking down their number 1 target. Now that Kyle Pitts is in there, it should be a start for Drake London, yes? I still don't buy it. I think coming off a loss last week, Kansas City whooped on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home on prime time. I think Tom Brady comes out this week. If I'm not mistaken, he has 10 wins against the Falcons and no losses. And I believe he's got over 10 touchdowns and under 2 picks, regular season-wise. But I think Drake London is in for one of those games where he might not even have 4 catches. And if he does, it's not going to be pretty. maybe 4 catches, 50 yards. I'm going to go 0.3 under the touchdowns. Drake London has been good. Receiver-wise, he's one of the best rookie receivers, but when you come into Tampa and you're coming off a loss like they did, don't expect much. Don't expect the game to be close. I think it's going to be a massacre in the hot area that is Tampa. So if you want to start Drake London, if you have no better option, go ahead. I'd rather start Chris Olave, Tyler Lockett this week over him, and maybe Deontay Johnson, Amari Cooper. But if you have to you have to start him. Proceed with caution. Like I said, 4.5 catches, under 60 yards, and under a 0.4 touchdown for Drake London this week.
There you go. Wide receiver sit, Drake London. Wide receiver start, my boy, Chris Olave Garden. Let's go. Versus the Seattle Seahawks. I don't want to ever have to pick. I didn't want to ever have to pick Olave here. I didn't want to mush my boy on the week. But Michael Thomas is out. Jameis Winston is out. And that combination last week had Andy Dalton targeting the first-year product out of Ohio State, a team leading 7 times. Overall, he is the leader for the Saints in targets. He's the leader in red zone targets. We have seen wide receivers have some decent days against the Seattle Seahawks, who have the 31st ranked secondary. Josh Reynolds just went off for 8 and 81. Jerry Jeudy, 4 for 102. The 4.39 speedster is first in deep ball targets, averaging 3.8 deep ball targets per game. He is the wide receiver 1 out of all wide receivers in air yards. I know there is no fantasy points for air yards, but it is a metric to prove that eventually there will be production, and there will be production for Chris Olave this week. Targeted 32 times over the last couple weeks. Olave should show no real signs of slowing down versus the Seahawks. Projection, 6 catches, 85 yards, and a tutty. That's a solid output for a rookie wide receiver against the Seahawks. So wide receivers start, Chris Olave. Nice to see a couple Saints in our list this week as starts. Wide receivers sit, Drake London for the Falcons. Our tight end start of the week. Let's get to the question first here. Rack PPR, pick 2, week 5. Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, or Deontay Johnson. I think Jalen Waddle is a must start on a weekly basis. He was hindered by that groin injury last week, but he had the extended week because they did play on Thursday. So extra time to rest up there. He does have Teddy Bridgewater throwing him the ball, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue for Jalen Waddle. I'm going to lean Jalen Waddle and Deontay Johnson.
Oh yeah, let's not overthink this. I have Wilson and Waddle, and I'm not starting Wilson until I see a dramatic change. And Waddle, Deontay Johnson, we got done talking about Johnson and Waddle. We're both big fans of him, and I think the underneath route for him and Bridgewater is going to be a very good combo going forward.
There you go. Good luck, Rack. Our tight end start of the week. Splash Rants Gibson. This is a good question. Brian Robinson rest of the season. I mean, we're already crowning Brian Robinson the comeback player of the year. I don't care if he has two touches for 1 yard. I mean, the guy got shot in the legs. He's a running back. His main source of income is his legs. This guy got shot 6-7 weeks ago, and here he is getting promoted off the PUP list, off the injured reserve, whatever it is, and they're expecting him to play somewhat in this game. I mean, the guy is the 50 Cent of the NFL, man. Like, come on, many men. Like, it's Brian Robinson. Rest of the season, I mean, it's tough to say who's going to be the guy to own rest of the season. We know Gibson is a very talented dude. He can catch the ball. He's a good, decent runner. But it's just that doghouse mentality that Rivera has that's going to keep him limited. They're going to ride the emotional high of Brian Robinson. I mean, Brian Robinson's going to be the guy probably rest of the season to own. Am I dropping Antonio Gibson? No, I'm not dropping Antonio Gibson. I'm going to hold him because, I mean, again, the guy was shot in the leg. Like, who knows what he's going to be able to produce. He's looked good in the videos that we've seen coming out of practice and stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, if you're, who's your pick?
I don't like Antonio Gibson. He's done nothing for me.
Yeah.
The guy got shot, and he's doing. Listen, I go to the gym sometimes, and I hurt my shoulder. Oh, I can't work out for 2 weeks. He's getting shot, and he's going to work out right after. Like, this man is not human. You ever seen the Terminator? This is the Terminator.
Yeah.
And I think, listen, let's also be realistic. I get it. We want him to take over, and he will. I think going next year with a full off season ahead of him, without anything going wrong, you might be surprised if Antonio Gibson reverted to a third down back and Brian Robinson's given 15 and 20 carries. Mm-hmm. This guy is a stud. He went to and he went to Alabama, so he knows how to win, he knows how to play, and he knows what it's like to be a good player. Mm-hmm. You don't go to Alabama and suck. I mean, you do, but there's a very small percentage of those players that don't make it.
Jahmyr Gibbs looks like a
stud.
Oh,
Jahmyr.
Jahmyr Gibbs looks like a stud. So
So
I'm gonna rest the season. If you're doing a redraft league, I'm gonna lean towards Gibson. But I mean,
don't be surprised. Okay, here's the thing.
Don't be surprised if Robinson takes it.
Hold on to Robinson. If you have Gibson and Robinson, you're fine. If you don't have either one of them, just try to get Robinson, because you never know. What if week 12, 13, 14, Gibson gets hurt, where it's like a 2-3 week injury, you need to play at running back, and you have Brian Robinson like, hey, I've been waiting here for you, and there you go. So he could be a good end of the season back. Devin Singletary last 6 weeks of the season was an RB1. Devin Singletary is an RB1 6 weeks, won a chip. This could be the guy to do it. That's why you're holding him. Do not let him go. If you held him this long, keep on to him. If he's in a dynasty league, you already know you're going to keep on to him. Redraft, just wait. Just wait till the last possible second, because you don't want to get bit in the arse and not have it.
Yep. There it is, man. Brian, 5 shots, couldn't drop me. I took it and smiled. Robinson, someone needs to put Brian Robinson's head on that historic Tupac picture where he's getting gurneyed out and he's throwing up the birds. Like, the guy, man, it's just a great story. You love to see it. Just
you joke about
crazy.
It, but like you
joke about it because you can now, because you know what I mean?
But and like you do it, and you're like, because when it happened, it was sad. It's like, no, but then now it's like, wow, this guy's a freaking, like, now we want him to succeed. It's like the whole world's behind you. It's like a great comeback story. I really hope he does have a good starting gig, because this guy, like I said, will be a monster. So Brian Robinson, you're the man, and we love you on the show.
Comeback player of the year, book it. Joe Hamilton, Ramondre Stevenson, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, or Tyler Algier. Full PPR. I'm gonna lean. Woods is a good one. Woods is a good one there with Treylon Burks. Algier. Sorry.
Algiers. See, Tyler Algier is going against Tampa. Rest of the season, hold on to him. You never know.
Tyler Algier. I'm gonna go Ramondre. I'm gonna go Ramondre Stevenson.
Give me Bobby Trees. I think Woods going forward. I mean, a big ass tree fell down in my subdivision last week during the hurricane.
Took it as a sign.
It was a sign. Guess what? Who scored that week? Bobby Woods.
Yeah. I could see it. I could definitely see.
I think Treylon Burks is out, and he's the number 1 receiver. I know Nikini's in there, and Kyle Phillips is there, but I just think that it's Bobby
Woods.
Trees.
You're gonna lean Woods? Yeah. Full PPR too, man. I could definitely see a situation where Woods outplays all 4 of these guys, all the rest of these guys here. But thanks for tuning in, Joe. Okay, we're almost out of here. Stefan, give me your tight end start of the week.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Western Kentucky tight end Tyler Higbee, 26 receptions, 244 yards, no touchdowns. I get it. Oh, but you look at the guy's numbers. He is targeted 10 times last game. He is the only guy outside of Cooper Kupp that's seeing any volume. Tyler Higbee is a tight end 1 this season, and no one seems to give a rat's tail about what he's doing. I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, this guy's a stud. Going forward, we know that Matthew Stafford has no one else. Allen Robinson is, I don't know who that guy is anymore. He's not Allen Robinson. He's someone else. It looks like he played Space Jams. The monsters sucked his soul out. It's someone else playing. It's going to be Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp, a sprinkle of Skwarnick, and there's no Cam Akers involved. We know that. But Tyler Higbee has been a monster. Why would you want to bench him now? There's no reason to bench him. He should be starting over guys like Dalton Schultz. I hate to say it, guys like Dallas Goedert, Kyle Pitts, who else? Hunter Henry, like all these guys. No, this is the guy. This is your savior. This is the guy you waited to the 12th, 13th round pick to pick a tight end that you knew was, I could just get a tight end later. He'll be fine. Tyler Higbee is that guy. And going forward, he's going to be a great top 5 tight end. You don't need much to be a top 5 tight end, but Tyler Higbee has everything in his arsenal to be a top 5 tight end. He's a second option. He's getting 5 to 6 targets a game. And Matthew Stafford loves his tight end this year. That's his safety guard. He can't go to Cooper Kupp. Give me Tyler Higbee. Enough said. I mean, tight ends are a wasteland. You know who to start. You know who to sit. Don't go looking for guys like Cole Kmet, Robert Tynan, Evan Ingram. Go find a guy like Tyler Higbee, Gerald Everett. Those are the guys you want because they will win you weeks when you have no other tight end to go through. Give me Tyler Higbee rest of the season. If you haven't traded for him when your trade deadline comes up, go get him. It's not going to cost you much. It'll cost you a little bit, but trust me, it's worth it when you have a tight end that consistently can score over 10 points.
Yep, there you go. Fire up the Higbee. My tight end sit of the week. I see Joe had a comment there about the lack of targets for Robert Woods from the Titans there in the section. Wide receivers versus the Commanders have been absolutely eating. Absolutely eating. I don't think there's been a week where at least one wide receiver hasn't hit 100 yards. So you're giving me that production there with no real threat to his game. I mean, you're looking at week 1, Christian Kirk 117. You're looking at week 2, Amon-Ra St. Brown 116. You're looking at week 3, Devonta Smith 169. And then week 4 with Cooper Rush, you had CeeDee Lamb get 97. I mean, just outside of 100. So wide receiver ones for their respective teams have been balling for their teams against the Commanders. So I'm okay with. Sure, they might not be throwing the ball as much as we'd like them to, but man, they're able to produce the wide receivers there against the Commanders. Tight end sit of the week. This is a surprising one considering he was really targeted once Kenny Pickett came into the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers last week. But versus the Buffalo Bills, tight ends are averaging only 2 points per game. That's not a good amount to fire up a second-year tight end with a rookie QB. When Pickett did come into the game, Freiermuth was hyper-targeted. His share shot up to 30%, but that was the Jets, and now the Steelers are playing the Bills. Like I said, they're all tight ends versus the Bills are only averaging 2 points a game. They got a rookie quarterback coming in. I think we're about to see another situation where a quarterback sees ghosts in the field. So I'm not looking for a high output. I mean, other than Deontay Johnson with his target share alone, he's the only wide receiver that I want to start for the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. The matchup isn't good. The Muth isn't gonna be Luth today versus the Bill. My projection: 3 catches, 25 yards for Pat Freiermuth. All right, Steph, we're almost done here, brother. I got to dip out. I got company filing in. It's Canadian Thanksgiving again. We're going to give away some points if you DM us your username on the uSTADIUM app, on the uSTADIUM Twitter. DM us your username and we'll fire off some points so you can get or make some takes for week 5. We've seen fantasy players bet on their respective matchup on the week, which is always a fun little shit talking tool for you there. So our team DST sit of the week is...
Isn't that yours or is that mine?
It's yours.
Oh yeah, it's the Ravens again. Ravens. What? Why would I do the Ravens twice? Oh, because they're going against Cincinnati. The Bengals have had the Ravens number. The Ravens don't know what to do against those receivers. It's like Marcus Peters and those boys forget how to play football. Splash, don't kill me because we know this is right. I love the Ravens. I love that defense. But Joe Shiesty is going to show us why he is what he is. And you see Jamar Chase, you see T. Higgins, you see Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon. I really think on a Monday or Sunday night game tonight, you look in that defenses, it's going to be a shootout. I think both teams are going to go at it. Lamar Jackson to do his own thing. But you're going to see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase on a level tonight that I think we go, okay, that's what we're looking for. And as good as the Ravens defense is, over the last few years, they have been a great start defense every week the last 5 years. I think slowly and surely teams are starting to find out how to beat the Ravens, and they're starting to become a team defense that you stream here and there instead of drafting anymore. So sit the Ravens defense. I think against Bengals, it's going to be one of those games where you just like touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, and you see your score in your defense go from 10 to 8 to 7 to 6, 5, 4, 3, and you get any under 5, you're like, oh, I should have picked up someone else. I like your star defense of the week. I should have him in a bunch of my leagues. But the Ravens this week, I think, are in for a shootout, and which is why you want to bench them, because you don't want negative points from a defense. And if you're already up going into the game and you need to start a defense, you're up by 5 points, 1 point, 3 point. Pull that defense and just take that win. No need to get greedy, because if you lose points, you will lose the week. I've seen it done before. Sit the Ravens defense and don't look back at it.
There you go. Sit the Ravens defense. Our team defense start of the week is the Tennessee Titans. 3 teams versus the Washington Commanders have already hit double-digit fantasy points, with the Eagles putting up 21. Dallas last week hit 14. The Commanders have been a must-start spot to opposing DSTs, and the Titans should be no exception. The last and probably most important analytic for this game, and are you ready for this? It's Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz as the starter for the Washington Commanders should be the reason why you're starting the Tennessee Titans team.
They're blocking their own linemen. I mean, you watch Dallas game?
Man.
There you go.
Yeah, 5 interceptions on the year already. He's been sacked 17 times. 9 of those, I think it was 9 of them versus the Eagles alone. The Titans are in a nice spot to succeed versus the Commanders. So yeah, there's not much to it there. I don't have a lot for you there. I mean, to me, it's just one of those, you're streaming DSTs, you need a DST to start. You're maybe already behind from this early morning game and the Thursday game, and you want to pick up some points somewhere. The Titans are going to be the one that you want to roll with this week. That's our start and sits of the week. We appreciate everyone who tuned in and dropped questions for us. We hope you guys continue to succeed in your fantasy football matchups. It's week 5. We are a quarter of the way through the season already. It's been it's going quick, man.
I hate it.
Yeah, buys start next week. Bye weeks are right around the corner. So it's crucial for you guys to win your weeks. Tune in with us. We'll help you hold your hand along the way. We appreciate, again, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, download the uSTADIUM app. Let them know that Chris and Stefan sent you. We are here to help you. So that's it for us. Stefan, let them know where they can find you, big guy.
Well, as I always do, the Bearish Bombs on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere, honestly. Anything social media wise, uSTADIUM app, you can find me. Ask me any questions. My DMs are open. We do have 2 hours to a game day, so I will be answering questions. And like I said, if you have any questions, any complaints, any whatever, just I'm still learning how to do this. Just drop a question down there. I'll reply back in 2 minutes, anyways. Other than that, hey, Camaro, it's gonna happen. Breakout game. I told you if you don't have him yet, go get him. Go get him till 1 o'clock, and then that's gonna be the deadline.
Yep, that's it for us.
Happy Thanksgiving again.
Cheers, buddy. Appreciate it.